This is Evan Robb, and I'm with DisruptED TV today. And today I'm joined by Tara Martin. Welcome, Tara.
Hi, welcome. Super
Right.
excited to be here.
Absolutely. So we're talking about change, and we're talking about things in education that can disrupt education in a positive way. But before I begin, I do want to say that you are an educator, you've been an administrator, you're an author, you're a blogger, a founder of Book Snaps, and really most exciting to me, and certainly well timing for our little talk today, is you've just released a book called Be Real, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and I believe one other place you had told me, a Kindle, I guess, also. And it's a fantastic book. The book is powerful. It resonated with me, and I'm sure it's going to resonate with many, many people who read it all across the country. So Tara, welcome. And what I'd like you to talk about is, what is one thing that you'd like to focus on for positive change to disrupt education in a positive way?
You know, Evan, I love technology. Obviously, I came up with the idea of Book Snaps, which was using Snapchat for what I like to call edu-awesomeness. Figured out a way to use the app, the social app, in a way that it could be meaningful for education. And I absolutely love the cutting edge of technology. It's fascinating to me. It's something that I'm very interested in. And you know, that's probably what most people will want to talk about when they talk about disrupting education. But I think today I want to talk a little bit about really the heart of the message of my book. So my book is called Be Real, Educate from the Heart. And REAL is an acronym. So the R is for being relatable, exposing vulnerability, always approachable, and learning through life. And honestly, I think too often we get so caught up in all of the new things and all of the things that we feel like we have to have our classroom setting like this, and we have to have all this technology to be able to perform in today's age. But I do think that educators truly do have everything they need right inside of them. It's exposing their realness and allowing students or whomever they serve, for me, the staff, to be able to expose their realness and be accepted for that. Because, you know, I think about it, and we all come from so many different backgrounds. We come from different experiences. We have all these different strengths. Mm-hmm. We have all these different interests and talents. But what I often see in the world is people trying to mimic others. So, oh my goodness, this teacher is doing all these things. Man, I should be doing all these things. I should try to do all these things. But the truth is, if everyone would just come with their unique realness and be relatable, expose vulnerability, always approachable, and sharing their learning journey with those that they serve, I think we would come out ahead, because that's where relationships are built, and that's where kids build these emotional connections with you that technology can't replace. There aren't technological advances that will replicate every single human in the world. And I honestly don't believe it'll ever happen.
You made an interesting comment in your book about that with all the technology, we've never been able to create a heart.
Not yet. Yeah, exactly.
And maybe one day that we will. The other thing that's really interesting that resonated with me when I read your book is this idea that being real and connectivity, it's not a cookie cutter kind of thing. It stems from people finding, you know, what's unique within them and learning how to connect with kids. And the other thing that resonated with me was the power of connections and, you know, relationships, emotional connections with teachers. You know, I can recall that when I think back to teachers that taught me, and you share a really powerful story in your book about a second grade teacher who made a really big difference in your life. Would you like to share a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. My second grade teacher, so she, it was on the first day of school, she asked us, what do you want to learn in second grade? And I mean, you're like 7, right? So I don't know what 7-year-olds normally say, but I knew that I wanted to learn to read. I couldn't read, and all my friends were reading, and I really felt behind. I knew that I was behind. And so she made us think about it. We didn't get to tell her right away. We couldn't raise our hand, but as we walked out to recess, we could tell her what we wanted to learn in second grade. And so I remember her getting down on one knee. I still remember the smell of her perfume. I don't even know if she remembers me that well, but I do remember her very vividly. And she said, "What do you want to learn in second grade?" And I said, "I want to learn to read." And she was like, "Okay, you'll learn to read." And you're 7. So you're just like, well, it's done. I'm going to learn to read this year. This is fantastic. But the truth is, it wasn't that easy. She tutored me every day when I got off of the bus. And I honestly don't remember what she did to teach me to read. I don't remember at all. All I know is I got a snack. I got a hug every morning. And I got to walk into class when all the kids had to sit outside of class. So I felt super special. But I learned to read that year, and I never, ever struggled in school again. And I became a first-generation graduate of many things. And so I know that Mrs. Shelton changed the way I think. She changed my trajectory in life, but honestly, she helped me rewire my brain to realize that, the circumstances that you currently live in don't define you. And you are capable of overcoming all kinds of things. You just have to believe in yourself. But it took her to believe in me first, so I could realize that was a possibility.
Yeah, and you share a lot about your background in the book, and it really helps kind of paint your story. I know when I think back to teachers that made a difference with me, and as I am a little bit older than you are, but when I think back to middle school, I definitely do not remember teachers that taught me specifics of grammar or specifics of mathematics, but I do remember people that made a positive connection with me. And the really neat thing about your book, and the thing that's so well timed about your book, because it's summertime and teachers all across the country are thinking about the year coming up, and it's easy to get really caught up in very specifics of this particular type of technology that I want to use, and that's good. And I certainly don't knock that, and your book does not knock that at all. But what your book, the message of your book is, remember the human side of education. You remember to make these positive connections because they have tremendous value and they can change the trajectory of kids.
I agree. And I do believe that technology can be the avenue to peeking into the minds and even the hearts of our kids. You can use the app. It's not the app. It's the making the connection through the app and allowing that opportunity. So don't regurgitate to me the answer I want you to share with me. Tell me what you're thinking. How are you personally connecting with this text? And as teachers, as educators, we have to listen to whatever they produce. So if it's a book snap, listen to the book snaps, because oftentimes they speak to us and they tell us something a way that a child is connecting to the text could tell us what's going on in their lives, and maybe some inner struggles that they're having, that they're relating to these characters. And so it's not forsaking technology, it's allowing technology to amplify realness. And that's what I really kind of try to get at. We have the tools within us to do the job, but we have these awesome things out there to help us amplify this realness. And in really sharing out to an authentic audience on Twitter, that's so great for kids to be able to share their work. It makes it so much more valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the message of balance, a lot of times when schools move into one-to-one tech initiatives, some people can believe that, well, the computer is going to take the place of the teacher. And of course, what your message is very clear, which is, no, it does not, but it works in concert and it can work in tandem. And when I know when my father, who was an educator back in the 1950s, he was at a time when they were bringing film strips and starting TVs in the classroom. Of course, the message was that will completely take place, and it did not. And I'm not, it's a big comparison to talk about a film strip to the technology that we have available. But the one thing that's a constant, is the thing that resonates throughout your book, which is relationships and the importance of that connectivity between teacher and student.
It's true. It's the human piece that I don't think technology will ever completely replace.
Tara, that's a really powerful message. It's a good way. We have to wrap up our conversation, but I'd like to remind our viewing audience to check out Tara Martin's book, Be Real. A great summer read. Encourage it for any teacher, any educator, really anywhere in the world. if you're interested in following Tara, and a lot of people do on Twitter, you can follow her at Tara Martin. That's a capital T, capital M, capital EDU, and connect with Tara that way. So this is Evan Robb for Disrupt TV, reminding you that if you want to bring more creativity and innovation into your life, at times you need to disrupt your routine. See you next time.